Sports on Tap Detroit, brought to you by the Realtors of the Joe Wright Group, Jason Stiltner of Flagstar Bank, Aldman Entertainment.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen.
We are tonight's entertainment.
We're here to fuck shit up.
Sports the way it should be. Nothing sugar-coated, we're loaded with all the information you wanted. From legends to prospects, nothing's off limits. Chris and Joe be taking on all topics with no stopping. They keep it rolling and going and ball hopping at a rate that's hard stopping with news that's jaw dropping. They're getting it in. Sports Center competition, man, they in it to win. This ain't a fluke. From Carolina to Duke, from MSU to Michigan. You'll know if you listening. If you ain't, you missing it. All the excitement, they shock from the cloud and ride with lightning. Get it together, you know ain't nobody better. Bring heat than cold weather. You better put on a sweater. You better just let it go when all come and attack. Sit back, relax, let's tell them it's on tap.
We'll do it live. Fuck it.
I'm ready to go.
Welcome to episode 152 of Sports on Tap Detroit, and as it's episode 152, it is also episode 1 of season 5 of this podcast, which I'm actually pretty impressed by that.
I am too, man. I can't believe it's been 5 years, honestly,
right?
or at least 4 years. We're starting on year 5.
Yes, this is the third iteration of this podcast, so
Yes.
This is by far the longest one we've ever done. So,
Absolutely.
also, and I know games have already started in the NFL, but this is our NFL preview show. We would have done the show on Tuesday. However, unfortunately, we were having some studio issues. Note to anybody listening out there, do not flush, quote, flushable wipes down the toilet. Just don't do it. I don't care if it says flushable. Don't do it.
It's a bad idea.
It is a terrible idea. It will fuck your plumbing up. Just don't fucking do it. That goes for you, lady friend. That's all there is. I'm just going to leave it at that.
God damn you, lady friend.
I can honestly say this one is something that I literally had nothing to do with. And I'm very happy to say that.
It's always nice to say that it wasn't our fault.
I had nothing to do with it. I'm happy about that. However, I want to give a big shout out to my buddy Tony Bentley, who he came through in the clutch, man. He came through on Labor Day, and he helped us take care of this. And again, big shout out to him, man. He helped us tremendously. So I want to send a big thank you to him.
I tell you, man, I feel like here at the Sports on Tap family, we've had a lot going on lately.
Yes, it just seems like one thing after another.
It is, man. It's
Yes.
just it's a lot. So I'm really hoping that that we're all kind of coming out the backside of this one, and we're not going to experience
in a matter of saying coming out the backside.
Yeah,
Yes.
get it? Yeah.
Yes, I got you.
But
said.
yeah, I mean, Frank unfortunately had a little bit of a scare.
Yeah,
and
man.
He's dealing with some stuff,
Jesus.
and you know, me and my daughter dealing with her stuff, and you guys have been dealing with your stuff, and you know, it's just, man, let's dive
in.
hopefully we can all come out the other side of this unscathed, and everything is good from here for at least a while, man. It's been a lot. So,
Amen to that. With that being said, we could talk a little bit of baseball because the Tigers have actually pulled themselves back into the race. As of today, I believe they're only 5 games out in the wild card.
yeah. So I mean, mathematically, they're still
They're in it,
in it.
and we're getting meaningful games in September.
The mathematical numbers aren't very high.
No,
It's a very minute percentage.
yeah, the odds of them actually making it.
Are like 5%,
Yes.
9%, something like that.
However, like I said,
At least
we have meaningful games in September.
there's a percentage
Yes.
of chance they can make it.
It's funny. You look at the American League Central, and the 4 teams are above 500.
Yep.
And then the White Sox just drag their division winning percentage under 500 because how fucking bad they are.
Yeah.
They're literally going to set the record for the worst record in Major League Baseball history.
So that's awful. Detroit has actually had one of the better records since the All-Star break.
They have. Yes, they have.
And it's encouraging.
Very much.
So I believe we talked about this before, the last show, how encouraging it was.
Yes.
Yes, my mother is calling me, and we are on the air right now. So, Mom,
course.
I can't answer. Actually, go ahead and talk for a second.
Oh, okay. So, like Joe said, they've actually been one of the better teams in the second half of the season, which it shows promise. But like we talked about the last show we did, this is where again, Chris Ilitch has to make a decision on what he wants to do here. You see, this team is clearly on the come up, right? So it's like, okay, now it's time. You got to insulate these guys with veteran talent that can actually help you get to the next level. And I hate to be a downer on this, but again, we haven't seen from him that he'll actually do that. So I got to be, I guess, negative on this. But unless you give me a reason not to be negative, I kind of have to go that route.
I think you have no choice at this point to be a little bit negative on that aspect.
Right.
The positive is the team. The positive is their record after the All-Star break. The positive is some of the players who are stepping up.
Yeah.
And the negative is ownership and willing to spend, right? I mean,
It is.
that's we said that going into this year too, though.
Like these next two series, they have the A's and they have the Rockies. You got to do some damage in these two series, but then you got the Orioles after that. So you got to do some damage in these series.
You absolutely have to. And listen, it's a small percentage that they can actually make the playoffs.
Yes.
With that said, I'm going to look at next year right now because I think that small percentage is not going to come true. I mean, we know how small percentages work with trying to make the playoffs down the stretch, right? It's that small of a percentage for a
teams
reason,
you got to
right?
jump, and it's very difficult to do.
Looking on to next year, though, as a fan, I'm very excited about the fact that they turned it on after the All-Star break, all the positive progression that the players have made. And with that said, again, I think you hit on it. They need to spend.
Yep.
They need to make a commitment. It's time. There's no more kicking the can down the road and saying,
We're not ready.
we don't have a foundation. We're not ready.
Yeah. It's
No,
not time yet.
you do have a foundation. You are ready.
They're clearly showing you that.
They're displaying that they're ready.
Yep.
You need to now spend to help that. You cannot just rely on your farm system for everything. Now, granted, one publication came out. Detroit actually has the top 2 prospects in the minor leagues right now.
Is that right? I did not see
Yep.
that. All right.
They have the top 2 prospects in the league right now.
Okay.
And I believe they also have number 22 or 23, and they have like a number in the 30s. They have some prospects, right?
Yeah.
It's probably not going to be next year that you see these guys, right? One of them is Max Clark.
Yeah.
One of them is Dingler,
Okay.
but he's not. So Max Clark is number 2.
Yeah.
Number 1 is, I believe, their first-round draft pick this year, I
Okay.
believe. And I forgot his name. But, yeah, Detroit has the top 2 prospects in all of Major League Baseball as of a publication about a week ago.
Okay.
So
That's something to build on.
that you've already built on it this year.
Yeah.
You've got some guys at the Major League level that are playing outstanding baseball for the second half of the season.
Mm-hmm.
You've got a couple guys that are probably going to work their way up next year, some that are a little bit down the road, but you need to spend next year. You need to put some money in this team. And also, you need to spend some money in who you get rid of.
Yes.
You have to get rid of Javi.
That guy cannot be on this baseball team
Where
next year.
is Harvey?
Yeah.
He should not be here wherever he's going to be. He should not be here.
No, it's time for it's been past time for that guy to be bought
You're
out.
going to spend money
Yep.
to buy him out, but fucking do it.
Yep.
Get rid of him. Get him gone. He
No.
cannot be here next year.
No, I agree with that 100%. And like we've been saying that for over a year and a half now. It's time. He can't be on this baseball team next year. He just can't.
No.
So with that being said, like that's where we're at. We're at a crossroads with this franchise, and we said this the last episode we did. Is which road are you going to take? Are you actually gonna, given it what the fans want, and they want a winner, like flat out, they want a winner. But
Absolutely.
are you going to be the Chris Ilitch we all know and hate, and just be stingy and not spend money? I hope I hope he proves us all wrong and actually does some things to make this team more competitive next year and actually get to that next level. But again, he's given me no reason to believe that he will.
No.
So we'll see on that. I just like that right now we have meaningful games in September. That's cool. I dig it.
Agreed.
I mean, I did before the season started. I did pick him to win the division. That obviously is not going to happen, but it's nice to see him with above 500 record in September.
Yes.
It's like, okay, I can dig that. So hopefully that leads into a really good offseason where they kind of take that next step.
Well, and the positivity for me is it wasn't like they were playing like this all year, right?
Yeah.
And if you could take some positives out of the fact they didn't play great all year, right? They started off kind of dog shit. They weren't very good, had a couple stretches, but this second half of the season right now where they've put it all together, they've done it without Torkelson.
Yeah, for the most part, yeah.
They've done it, and they've done it in a way where it's impressive.
Yeah.
What they've done after the All-Star break. So to me, it's something that it's been a stretch, a long stretch of trying to make up for the bad first half. It's a long stretch. It's not a couple stretches that put it all together throughout the season. They have a long stretch right now that is pretty damn good.
And I think a lot of these wins where they've actually come back in games, like they just
like the
haven't
one last
quit.
night.
Yeah, like they haven't quit.
Yep.
And I dig that. I love to see that.
Yep.
And that's what you get with young teams a lot. They just because they're auditioning for jobs next year.
Yep.
So they're going to do whatever they can to be on this team next year, and I love that. So credit to them, and hopefully they can finish strong and keep pushing. I mean, I don't think they're going to make it. I just think there's too much stuff in their way to actually make that happen.
Yeah, I agree.
But if they can keep pushing and at least make it really interesting down the stretch, cool, man. I dig it. That's awesome.
And I'm with you. I think I don't really think they're going to make it. I don't think they're going to make it, but at least we have meaningful baseball.
Yes.
In September.
I love it.
That's kind of what we asked for, really, right? Is
Yes.
meaningful baseball in September.
I love it. Now, moving off of the MLB.
Thank you for that.
We'll take a quick dip into college football from last weekend.
Yes. As we're both wearing our Michigan gear.
We're both wearing a big game coming up on Saturday.
Big game.
Against Texas.
Big game.
Looking at last weekend, or opening weekend, I guess, Michigan comes out, and everybody's bitching, oh, my God, they're terrible, blah, 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 this, that, and the other thing. And it's like, guys, what did you think they were going to look like?
Well, I'm just going to harken back to what I said before the season started, right? I mean, we like to say when we're right, but we also say when we're wrong.
Yeah.
On this one, we were right. I mean, we said they weren't going to be good. We said they were going to struggle. Listen, this team lost 18 starters from last year. Yeah. 18. They lost coaches. There's a lot going on, man. And I'm telling you, if you thought this team was going to come out and roll people again, there was no way that was going to happen. They squeaked out a victory last week. It was one where, again, I even picked them to not cover the spread, which they didn't. This week, I'll be honest with you. If I'm looking at it this week, Chris, it's Texas is going to win.
Probably.
And I don't think they will win by the spread. I think Michigan will keep it close. Yeah. I think Michigan will take away Texas's run.
Yeah.
And because they have a good enough run defense and Texas is undersized with the run, I think Michigan will keep it close. I don't think they will win. And I think this is what you got to be prepared for. This is what you're going to get all season, guys.
Yeah.
It's going to be a team that's going to struggle a little bit.
Their defense is going to keep them in games.
Their defense will keep them in games. Their offense is going to struggle.
I have no idea what either of the quarterbacks are fucking doing.
Neither do they.
It's like, okay. Yeah, and that's going to be a huge issue. And it's like, okay.
Dennis said better than Florida State.
Yes, very, very much so, Dennis. Better than Florida State.
But it's what you're going to get all year, right?
Yeah.
We told them before the season started what they were going to get.
Yeah.
We're Michigan fans. We tried to warn you. We did.
Yes. And I got into it with one of my buddies about this, and he's already flipping out. I'm like, dude, what did you expect? I was like, they lost a shitload of players from last year. Not to mention, they're defending national champions. They're going to get everybody's best shot. Everybody's.
Not to mention it's Michigan, period. So,
You're already going to get your best shot.
You're kind of already getting everybody's best
Yeah,
shot.
you already have a target on your back.
You're not the most liked program.
No.
Never really have been, especially after the cheating stuff, right?
Yeah.
You're gonna have targets even more,
cheating,
quote unquote.
Yeah.
You're gonna have a target, a very large target, and you're the national champion, defending national. You're gonna get everybody's fucking best. Period.
Yep.
This team is what you saw, actually. That's who they are.
Yeah.
And that's what you're gonna get all season. And again, I'm not sure if you said it. I know I said it. Donovan Edwards is not the guy.
Yeah, he was not very good last weekend.
But if you look at his history, right? He's been a big play guy.
Yeah.
But it's hit a large hole and
Go.
take off and go.
Yep.
He doesn't have patience really to find that.
Yeah.
He's not the best visionary as far as a running back goes. He doesn't have the best vision.
Yeah.
He doesn't always make the right decisions as to where to go. I mean, he is who he is. Blake Corum was always way better than he was.
Yeah. That's
Even
why-
though everybody was beating the drum of how Donovan Edwards was going to pick up after him after he left.
Yeah.
Man, that is not the case. I tried to tell everybody that too. It's not. If he has a big hole, he can cut it and be gone because he's fast.
But he needs that big hole.
He has no vision
Yeah.
or a very little bit of vision when it comes to a running back. He's not a Le'Veon Bell. He's not a guy who's going to be able to dance back there and pick his spot and then hit it. He needs to have a hole, hit it, and go. That's it, man. He's a one-cut guy.
I mean, so you go from that game, and then I want to bounce to Florida State here really quick. Jesus, man. Woo. Now, you heard about that guy on Twitter that put it out there that if Florida State lost to Boston College, he'd put dog shit in a red Solo cup and eat it, right? Oh, yeah. This is this went like damn near viral. He did this.
I don't. Pay
Oh, yeah.
attention
So
to that shit.
after Florida State lost to Boston College, and they got smoked.
Everybody called him out.
Oh, big time. He deleted all his social accounts. Don't put stupid shit like that on social media. What's wrong with you?
Yeah.
And if
I
you're
don't-
gonna do it, own it, man.
Right. Like, come
Own
on,
it.
man.
Like
Again, like back with the shoot the boot bet
Right.
and things like that. Like, listen, not one bet have I ever made that I wasn't willing to pay up on.
you got to do it.
I would say you too.
Gotta do it.
Like, if you're willing to make it out, if you're willing to put it out there, fuck social media. If I put it out there to my friends,
Got to do it.
I've got to own it.
Got to own it. You got to own it. And he did it. He said he deleted all his social accounts and all that shit. So it's like, okay.
That doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, it doesn't surprise me either. But then you bounce from that game, you go to LSU USC, which is actually a pretty good game. But there's not many things in sports that make me happier than seeing a Brian Kelly team lose. And especially the way they lose. It's glorious. I fucking love it. They should have actually won that game, but because of Brian, and of course he bitches and complains about how he wasn't coaching good enough. Dude, they're paying you a shitload of money to coach. What is this nonsense that I wasn't good enough? What does that even mean?
Well, I mean, I guess in a way it's right though. I mean, he wasn't good enough, right?
Dude.
I mean, if you lose, obviously you weren't good enough.
I don't know.
I mean, I mean, I don't like the guy either. I'm not going to hate on him for that one though, because I mean, in the end, I think every coach, to me, it's Captain Obvious right there. I wasn't good enough today.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you lost, so yeah, you
But
weren't.
this is like an every year thing with him though.
Oh yeah,
You know, and that's kind of what I mean by that. It's like, dude, this is every year thing. What do you mean you weren't good enough? What does that even mean? So you got that, and then Miami walking into the swamp and just curb stomping the Gators. God, I love that. That is the best I've seen Miami look since
and yet you picked Florida.
Do you blame me? You saw Miami last year. They were
Okay.
terrible.
I mean, I picked Miami.
I know you
I'm
did.
just saying.
But like I said, I saw how Miami was last year.
Yeah.
Come on. But that's the best I've seen them look since they waxed Notre Dame a few years ago.
They have I believe we went over this when we did some of the picks and stuff. I believe they have an outside shot at a national championship.
If they look like they did against Florida the rest of the season, you're absolutely right. That team looked like the U.
They look
You know?
dominant.
They did. And they even said we left a shitload of points off on the
Yeah.
board. Yeah, you did.
They absolutely did.
And like I said, if they look like that the rest of the season, and just kind of looking at their schedule, yeah, you're right, Joe. They definitely have an outside shot of at least getting to the national championship game.
Absolutely.
You know, and I'm happy. But finally, it's about time. It's only been 2 fucking decades.
Well, I mean, they looked really good, man.
They did,
and
it was nice to finally see that a team that was ready. They were focused. There was no bullshit. There was no extracurricular nonsense.
and there was no don't kneel the ball down.
Yeah, there was
when you-
none of that shit.
like-
They literally they went to Gainesville. And it was a business trip.
Yeah.
Like, we're down there. We're gonna kick your ass, and then we're gonna leave.
Yep.
And that's exactly what they did. I'm like,
Yep.
but it's about fucking time.
And if they keep that focus all year, they really do have an outside
Yes.
shot at a national championship.
do,
Because
'cause-
listen, this is the year where 12 make it.
Yeah.
Right now,
One loss doesn't kill you.
Nope. Anything can happen when you got 12 teams making the playoffs, right?
Yeah.
One loss doesn't negate you from getting into the 4-team playoff, right?
Right.
And it's not a detriment, right? So you can lose one game, you can still make the playoffs, and you can make a run. And I think now that we have the 12-team playoff, eventually, and I'm not saying Miami would be that team this year. They do have they're not like a favorite, but they have a shot, right? If they
Yes,
play
they
like
do,
that.
yeah.
And I think in the next 3 years, you're going to see a college football program win the national championship that you would have never thought would have won it in the old way of doing things. You absolutely will see one that would have been like an 8 seed or a 9
Yeah.
seed. You're gonna see them win the national championship.
I can see that because
it will happen.
It's kind of like that in the NCAA tournament. You're starting to see teams like not blue bloods win national champ. I mean, shit. We never thought we'd see a 16 beat a 1, and we've seen it twice now in the past few years.
yep.
So yeah,
You will- you
Joey,
will-
I agree with you on that.
You will absolutely see a team that would have never had a shot before
right.
win a national championship.
And then you look at the state of the ACC right now. Clemson, I don't know what the hell Dabo was doing down there. And I texted my cousin Joe, who's a huge Clemson fan, and I just all I said to him, I go, what the hell is Dabo doing? He's like, dude, I have no idea. He hasn't adapted to the game now, especially the recruiting aspect of it.
Yeah, no, it's. I think you stated it at our last show. Is the game has kind of passed him by.
It has, and this is exactly. And I think you said this. This is exactly why Saban got out.
100%.
Yes,
And I believe that's why you're going to see him get out after this season.
I could see that. I could 100% see that. But overall, it was good first week of college football. I dug it. This week's not as good, so we only have a few games that we're picking this week for college football. But I mean, obviously you got the marquee game in Michigan, Texas. But other than that, there's really not any huge game this week.
There's no
so-
huge matchups
No.
this week. Yeah, there's nothing really major
But
this week.
as we kind of came into the show with, there is some huge matchups in the NFL, which
Yes.
started last night with the Ravens-Chiefs game, which I thought was a very entertaining game.
So, side story into this one.
Okay.
Yes, I was really looking forward to that matchup, but as I stated before, Ray had to have her surgery today, right?
Yeah.
So I found out yesterday. You don't find out until the day before what time the surgery is. Her surgery was at 6:15. We had to be there at 6:15.
Yeah.
And it was in Novi.
Oh, geez. That's how.
So my alarm was set for 4 a.m.
Yeah.
Needless to say, I did not see the end of that game.
Yeah.
I made every effort. I had it on, but I made every effort to go to sleep, which I did. I fell asleep during halftime. That was my mind's break.
Yeah.
If I would have made it through halftime, I probably would have ended up being awake for the whole thing and
Right.
regretted my life more today.
Now,
Because
I
I'm
actually-
already exhausted.
I actually did stay up and watch the whole thing.
Yeah.
Which I was very surprised I did. Normally, games like that, I generally hit it about end of the third quarter. I'm just like, all right, I'll find out who won in the morning, unless
Right.
it's one of my teams, you know. But it was, obviously everybody was happy for it to be back.
Oh, for
It
sure.
was actually it was a very entertaining game. Now, my takeaway from just one takeaway there's a few that I have, but the main one I have is the Baltimore Ravens. So the last game they played last year was against the Kansas City Chiefs, correct?
Right.
And the first game they played this year was against the Kansas City Chiefs, correct? Mm-hmm. Why on earth would you think the same game plan was going to work that you did in the AFC Championship game?
Oh, you mean run Lamar Jackson more than you do your running backs?
Or
Like
just-
all of them combined?
Or just like all passing, like all passes. And we realize your offensive line sucks. They can't protect him, so he has to run everywhere.
Well, and that's
And you give 13 carries to Derrick Henry. What the fuck did you even bring him there for? If that's all you're
Right.
going to do with him, you give and 5 of those carries were on the first fucking drive.
yep.
Like what? You literally went back to the same game plan you had in the AFC Championship game that failed you.
I believe in the championship game it was 8 runs for Lamar and 6 for all running backs combined.
Exactly.
This one I believe was I'd have to look at the stats. I think it was like 16. No, it was like 18 to 16 or 18 to 14, something like that, in Lamar's favor, as opposed to all other
Right.
all the running backs combined.
And most of those were scrambles.
Right. It doesn't make sense to me. And
doesn't.
and another thing, again, Lamar Jackson is probably the worst 2-time MVP I've ever seen.
Oh, yeah.
As far as the quarterback goes, he was 1 for 7 in pass completions within the red zone.
Yeah, and a big miss one.
I mean, I know the one was the guy's his toe was out of
I'm
bounds.
talking about
I
the
get
one before that.
No, I know, but like I didn't see it, right? I just know
Oh.
that I saw the highlights today, and I saw the stats today. But like for me, it was that's telling, man.
Yeah.
You cannot be 1 for 7 in the red zone and expect to win a football game against the Kansas City Chiefs.
And this is why, like, everybody, thinks who's number 2, behind Mahomes. And it's, everyone puts Jackson there, they put Allen there,
I
they put
can't
Burrow
put
there.
Lamar Jackson there.
I will
can't.
never put Lamar Jackson there because Burrow and Allen, they don't miss that guy wide open.
Okay, so here's the thing. I will never take away from the fact that Lamar Jackson is a great athlete.
He is. Absolutely.
He's one of the best
You can't
athletes.
take that away from him.
No, he's one of the best athletes we've seen.
Yes.
But he's not even as good of a quarterback as Michael Vick was. Michael Vick actually could.
Yeah, he could
He had better passing
He did.
stats and was a better passer
Yes.
than Lamar at this point. Lamar hasn't progressed in his
No.
passing ability.
He hasn't.
It's becoming a trend now, and he's won 2 MVPs. The first one, absolutely, I think he deserved. Last year's was weak.
I think
It was
there
a
were better
weak MVP.
candidates, yeah.
To me, it was a weak season
Yep.
to vote MVP, and I think he won it just out of like it was all right. You're the best of everybody. That it was just we don't really know. Sure, we'll give it to you. I'm sorry, man. You can hate on me all you want to, but the guy just is not a great quarterback.
He isn't. He's a great athlete. He's not a great. You're right about that. He's not a great quarterback. He's a great athlete. Which okay, but like I said, that second to last play, elite quarter. And the more fucked up thing about it, he didn't even see him. Like, how do you not see that guy? There's nobody around him, and you threw it like 5 yards to the right of him. Like, dude, how do you not see that guy? And that's why I say, like, Burrow and Allen, they don't miss that guy.
No.
They get it here.
Nope.
Touchdown. What I do like, but this is what I don't get about the Ravens when they get in big games like this. Why do you go away from literally what traditionally has been the foundation of your franchise is running the football? Why do you go away from just to prove to everybody that Lamar can throw the ball?
Oh,
Is
and-
that the deal?
Yeah. No, it is.
Is that what
To
we're
me-
doing here?
To me, it does seem like that.
And when you do that, you see the results. You fucking lose every fucking time.
Well, and here's another thing. I can somebody please tell that motherfucker to stop lining up in the backfield, please? Like, how many times do you need to get a flag in a game for lining up in the backfield when you're an offensive lineman? How many times does it need to be called before you move your fucking ass up to closer to the line? Dude, they're gonna call this all season now. It's one of the calls that they're gonna concentrate on all season. And the only thing I'll ask the refs to do is please fucking call it on both sides of the football.
I
because
was just gonna say
Kansas
that.
City had a couple plays there where I saw in the first half, at least for what I saw.
I'm like, so Jawan Taylor can do it all day?
Well, again, didn't he do it all game last
He did.
year
He
in the
got
first
called for
game
it
against Detroit
all
and
the
got
time.
called for it?
Yeah.
This year he was doing it and didn't really get called for it. I think he got called for it once.
Yep.
But on the other side of the football,
That dude literally false starts like every time the ball is snapped. Like every time. Like, how do you not see that?
well, he was the most penalized player last year.
Yes, he was.
It
Absolutely.
was actually, I think it was actually a record.
Yeah, he got penalized a lot. And then another one, that Spagnuolo timeout, you can't do that. Like,
No.
why did you not call a penalty on that?
Well, so here's what. I watched back that replay because I want to see what happened there. The line judge looks at him, but if you notice, the line judge looks at him calling timeout, and he doesn't do anything
Right.
until he looks down,
And then you see,
and then he sees Andy Reid doing it, and then he calls it. everyone's concentrating on what they saw in the picture.
Right.
But if you notice, if you watch it back,
I didn't see the Andy Reid calling it. That's
so
the only reason why
I didn't
say
see
that.
Andy Reid calling it, but from all accounts, Andy Reid was also doing it. But the line judge, he sees Spagnuolo, right?
Yep.
Calling it, but he looks him. He looks him dead in the eyes, but he doesn't do anything. And you'll see him turn that way. He sees Andy Reid doing it. By all accounts, Andy Reid was also making the motion.
Okay.
So when he sees Andy Reid doing it, is when he actually makes the call. Right. Now, whether I'm correct or not, that was just one of the things that I saw in watching the replay back. Is that's what was stated. Now, and you do see him kind of turn towards the other part of the bench to see, or the other sideline to see what's going on down there. Now, whether that was him seeing Andy Reid doing that or not, or whether he called it based on Spagnuolo, I don't know. But he didn't necessarily call it right away. He did look down the line.
Okay. A couple other takeaways I have from that. Kansas City's offense, they look really fast.
Okay.
Like really fast.
Xavier Worthy is very fast.
Yes.
Rashi Rice.
Fast.
You've got, they signed Samaje Perine, who you didn't see much of. But
when you saw him.
But when you saw him.
Fast.
He is, and everybody knows he was fast, right?
Yes.
He's a receiving running back. Even Pacheco, pretty fast for a plodding running back, right?
And a tank.
Yeah.
Jesus.
And so the one thing I'll say is, and I'm going to say this, Xavier Worthy's not going to have this kind of game all year long. So if you're listening for fantasy advice, sell high right now, because he had 3 touches. 2 were touchdowns.
And 1 was blown coverage.
Right. So, listen, he had a great game.
Yeah.
I wouldn't expect that. Rashi Rice is actually the number 1 receiver, and he's not going to miss any time due to his legal issues. That's going to be put off until the end of the year.
Yep.
It's going to happen next year, guys. So don't even think about that. Rashi Rice is number 1. Travis Kelce had 4 targets. He's going to have more than that in coming games.
He looks slow, man.
Well, listen, we'll get into that later on. I have some comments on him too, but he will see more targets, right?
I'm sure he will.
He's going to see more targets. Rashi Rice is number 1. Marquise Brown will be coming back.
Yeah.
But he always gets in there. But
he's going to drop passes.
He's going to be back.
Yeah.
And so there's going to be Xavier Worthy's not going to have this game all year long.
Right.
If you want to sell high on him to somebody who actually thinks this is going to happen all year long and he's the next like Tyreek Hill, sell high right now, guys. He'll have a couple of these games throughout the year. It will not continue and be consistent. You're going to be pulling your fucking hair out all year long.
Yes. No, I agree with that. It was like seeing like Collinsworth just glaze him up yesterday. It was like, it's so disgusting.
Listen, the kid looked fast as hell, man.
Yeah.
And one of them was a blown coverage completely.
Oh, yeah.
The other one was an end around that literally, again, nobody touched him. He made one move and nobody touched him.
Yep.
Will those plays happen throughout the season? Yes, you're going to see some more of those. But it will be inconsistent.
Yeah.
Patrick Mahomes has proven he will spread the ball around. Juju Smith-Schuster will have a game or two that he goes over 100 yards and looks great. He's going to get a couple touchdowns. You know what I mean? Like, he'll have games like that too. It's going to be too inconsistent, man.
This is the thing about it is they still don't have like quote that elite receiver.
No. Rashi Rice is developed pretty good though.
He's good. I'm not saying he's not.
No, but he's not elite.
Right.
But he has developed pretty well.
And this is why like I'm kind of equating this to like the Bills situation right now. They don't have an elite receiver.
No.
But if you have 4 decent to good receivers,
yeah,
and you have like a quote elite quarterback or like a very like an excellent quarterback, you're fine.
You can actually relate those two teams pretty well, right? So Buffalo has a tight end that had, as a rookie, had 70-some catches last year, right?
Yeah.
He's probably going to be the main pass catcher in this offense.
I think he's going to pop off this year.
I do, too. He's going to be the main pass catcher in that offense, right?
Oh, yeah.
You've got Keon Coleman, a rookie, Xavier Worthy, okay? Both those guys, a little different. Xavier Worthy's fast and small. Keon Coleman is a jump-up-and-get-it kind of guy. He's a box-out. He's a red zone guy.
Yep.
He's a within the 5-yard line, throw the out route, throw the jump ball.
Use your body.
Right.
Yep.
And then you've got a couple of other guys there that have been there for a little while, right? Now, Kansas City, they've got a more developed tight end. But again, you've got Rashi Rice, who last year as a rookie did pretty well, looking to expand a little more. He's going to be the main pass catcher there now, I think. Travis Kelce, more established tight end. Then you've got the rookie and Xavier Worthy. Like, again, both those teams kind of mirror each other a little bit. And if you pass the ball around, you can make it work.
Oh, yeah. You absolutely
can absolutely make it work.
And this is why when Diggs got traded and everyone was freaking out about it, I'm like, no, this is probably the best thing that happened to Josh Allen. Because now he doesn't have to force the ball to Stephon Diggs.
Right.
You know? And I'm like, I was fine with it. Bills fans were like freaking out about it. I'm like, no, this is actually a good thing, guys. I know it doesn't seem like it, but it's actually a good thing.
Sometimes you need to take a step back to actually take a step forward, man. That needed to happen.
You do. And like even with all the defensive guys they let go, I'm like, guys, this is not a bad thing. This is a good thing.
It's not a full rebuild, like I told you before. It's a
Yeah.
retooling.
And as long as you have that quarterback, you're going to be competitive.
They will take a little bit of a step back
Yes.
this year. They still have a shot at making the playoffs. They still have a shot at making a run. Do they look as refined as they did the last couple of
Hell
years?
no.
No. But they still have a shot, and it's not a complete rebuild. So even if it doesn't happen this year, you still have next year and the year after that because you did the correct things this year.
You didn't wait too long like a lot of these organizations do
Exactly.
to like, quote, tear it down. You didn't wait. You finally said, all right, these guys get hurt like all the time.
Right.
Why are we paying them this money to get hurt all the time?
You don't have to do a full rebuild
No.
if you do it more consistently.
Smart, yes.
Instead of waiting 5-7 years and do a full rebuild, you wait 3 to 5 years and you do a retooling.
Yeah.
You let some guys go, you cut some contracts that are a hindrance, and you retool.
Yes.
It's just a slight overworking of the roster.
It is.
And then you pick back up. And as long as you have the quarterback and the foundation,
Yep.
you should be okay.
Yes. As long as you don't wait too long to do it, you're fine. And I know they let go of some like fan favorites, and I understand that. You know, people don't like to see these guys go. But this is what the NFL is. It's a business.
Absolutely.
Like, would you rather just keep these guys and be in mediocrity for X amount of years? And it's a status quo every year is the
Oh,
fucking
you mean
same?
the Red Wings?
Yes,
for
exactly.
many years?
Yes. Would you rather it just be mediocrity for however long, or would you say, okay, this is the ceiling with this group. Let's try something different.
Right.
You know, this is like the Maple Leafs. This is what they fucking do.
Right.
Let's just run it back. Let's keep running it back. You've seen the results.
Yeah, no,
It's
you
the same shit.
you gotta change it up.
every fucking year. Anyways,
Speaking of good
digress.
business,
yes.
you know who's good business?
Who?
Jason Stillner from Flagstar Bank.
That he is. If you're a homeowner or looking to be a first-time home buyer, give Jason Stiltner, Senior Loan Officer at Flagstar Bank, a call today at 248-752-3631. Jason has great mortgage programs for first-time home buyers, including down payment assistance options and excellent interest rates. Again, give my guy Jason Stiltner from Flagstar Bank a call today at 248-752-3631 and get the excellent service you deserve. Flagstar Bank, Equal Housing Lender, member FDIC, NMLS number 27546. There you go. Nice.
I'm ready to go.
I love that one. I don't remember hearing that one except for today. That's a good one. I dig that.
I had to play it again after.
She probably doesn't even realize it's her.
Nope. I bet you she doesn't.
Is that me? Yeah, that's you.
Yep.
That's fucking funny. I love
Yep.
that.
Yep.
All right. So, you want to get into the actual like NFL preview now?
We
Since
can. Yeah.
since we
Yeah.
just,
Let's.
like,
Yeah. Let's do it.
Again, this show would have been done on Tuesday before the games actually were played, but
Listen, there was only one game. There's only
due to
one game been
unfortunate
played.
circumstances, it could not be done. So,
One game's been played so far,
yes,
and another one is going to be played tonight in Brazil.
which I think is absurd. I do. I think it's absurd.
I don't really care either
For the
way.
first game of the year to play it in Brazil.
Yeah, I guess in that one, I wouldn't say absurd, but I think it's a little bit silly.
I don't know. I don't like it.
I understand why they did it. It's business. The NFL wants
Oh
to
yeah,
expand.
it's-
Like I
yeah,
get why they're doing it.
No, absolutely. I know why they're doing it.
I don't.
But
I don't really. I'm not with you on it's absurd, but yeah, I think first.
no, that's what I meant.
Right,
Is like
like,
doing it the first week of the season.
first week
to
of the
me
season is a
absurd.
little bit.
Yes,
I think it's unfair to both those teams.
I
Honestly,
agree
to do
with
the
you.
first,
and that's
first
why I
game
think it's
in
if you want to
Brazil.
do it in the middle of the season and then you can have a bye after it.
Right.
Cool.
But it's like we talk about for all the games that are in different countries. Like they don't really schedule them properly
They don't.
to have the teams
Shitty
on bye week.
circumstances. You got that right.
Well, you talking about what happened here over?
Oh yeah.
But yeah, so that's That's what I would say about it. I think it's having it the first game of the season for both those teams is a little bit unfair.
Because
but I guess it's unfair for both of them,
like,
right?
I know you're playing it on a Friday, so you got those extra like couple days,
Right.
But still, like you shouldn't be able to have a bye week after one of these games,
Right.
You should,
right.
and the fact that you don't is
Well,
kind of
and they
sad.
never do that with any of them. For
I
some
know.
reason. I don't understand.
To me, that's a joke. You should have a bye.
You
week
should
after one of
align
these
them to where the teams that are traveling to other countries have a bye when they come back.
games. Yes, but I mean, if they go to 18 games, I think that will happen.
I think it's easier to do.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. It's easier to do. That's why I think it will happen. So, which let me rephrase.
Well, I
that.
think if they go
when
to
they when they inevitably go to 18 games,
And when they inevitably have 2 bye weeks in
Yes.
those 18 games,
Yeah.
which is what's going to happen as well.
yes. So, anyways, so yeah, let's jump on the game that's happening tonight as we record this on Friday. It's Eagles and Packers in Brazil.
Yep.
Which I find funny about this is, like, I guess where they're playing, apparently the color green is very offensive from what I've read. So, yes, let's send 2 teams down there where their primary color is green.
Yeah, both those teams' primary colors are green.
It's like, okay. Or one
So-
of their primary colors is green. Cool.
Right.
Well, apparently the Eagles are wearing black.
The Eagles are wearing black, and Green Bay's wearing white.
Yeah, but with like they're green numbers.
Okay.
But the Eagles are wearing like black pants, black number, black helmet.
Oh, okay.
So it's like, okay.
All
Cool.
right.
Like it's sweet. Let's send teams. Let's play football in an area where you literally have to like change the colors
Yeah.
of your shirt. Like, what are we doing?
Are we going to put that one on here?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Once it starts, I will put it on.
Nice. Yeah, that game's tonight, and being that this game is a little bit hard to pick in the fact that it is in another country to start the season off for both these frickin' teams.
Yeah.
If I were to look at this one, I look at it and I think Philadelphia wins. They're giving up 2.5 in this one. It's gonna be close, man. I think it's gonna be a close battle. I think inevitably Philadelphia pulls it out by a field goal. But if you were to take either side of this, I couldn't tell you you're fucking wrong.
I mean, you kind of know my thoughts on the Eagles. I think it's going to be an absolute dumpster fire this season.
You're not the only one. Your best friend at the local radio station here,
The Studio Gangster?
yeah,
Really?
is fully on board with you.
Really?
Says Sirianni is done. Says that he lost that team completely. Says that he will be fired before the season's over with. And like honestly, it was everything that you said, only with a New York gangster accent.
Nice. Yeah, I think, and this is why we'll get into this later, but with Belichick, I think he's going to end up taking over at some point. So,
Yeah.
so yeah, all right. So I know we came up with like a list of shit like that for the NFL that you
Yeah,
have. Let's dive.
You wanna
into
dive into that?
Yeah, let's
Okay.
dive into that a little bit.
All right, so basically it's the same thing we did last year. I think the year before that too. We've done a lot of these starting up to the football season,
I
right?
have no idea where it is. Can I even see it?
Yeah, it's on the website. So if you scroll down on the picks section, it's down at the bottom. I've got 2024 preseason picks, Chris,
It's not show picks.
and then got
Got it.
and then scroll down. So I got them separated by Chris, Joe,
Oh, yeah, I got it.
Frank,
Yeah,
who unfortunately wasn't able to make his picks this year.
Yeah.
Which Frank, buddy, I hope you're feeling better, man. And then Eric's picks as well, and he got me his second picks. We did secondary picks.
Yeah.
And you guys, both of you guys, negated to read my actual.
I didn't
text.
understand it. I'm like, wait a second, and then I was like, oh, I get it now. All right. Cool.
So yeah, so we'll start out with the first one.
Yeah.
Super Bowl champs.
Yes.
Or do you want to start with division winners first? Division winners.
Yeah, let's go division
right.
winners. Yeah.
So division winners.
Yes.
Chris, you went with the Jets,
Yep.
the Ravens,
Yep.
the Texans, and the Chiefs in the AFC.
I did.
I think mine are all like yours except for one. So I think we were all just like one off on these. I had the Jets as well.
Yeah.
I had the Ravens as well. I had the Chiefs as well. Our difference
Titans, eh?
is in the Titans against the Texans. Wow. I think the Titans will surprise this year. I
Really?
really do.
You really have that much confidence in that quarterback?
I do.
Really?
I do.
That guy
yeah.
that puts mayo in his coffee?
Well, that's weird. I wouldn't do that. I don't suggest doing
This
that.
is why I can't take that team serious.
I mean, listen, we all have weird quirks. We do. That's a really weird.
That's
one.
a really weird quirk.
But I mean,
Like, I don't know if I don't know what's more weird. If he likes putting mayo in his coffee or he likes golden showers. Which one's worse? Which one's weirder?
the golden showers for sure.
Really?
But yeah, out of which one of those two would I choose to do? It's the
mayo
mayo
and
and
the
the coffee.
All right, fair
So
enough.
I'm going to relate it to that one.
All
But,
right,
yeah, I think that team is going to surprise this year. I really do.
fair enough.
And I think Houston might take a step back. I think they've got a target on their back. I'm not saying they're not going to be good.
Yeah,
They're going to be. I just think they might possibly take a step backwards. I will say that Eric's is only one off from you as well. It's just in a different division.
Yep.
He has the Chiefs, the Texans, and the Ravens, same as you do.
Yes.
But he has the Dolphins winning the AFC East.
Okay.
Yeah.
I disagree with that pick, but okay.
I mean, I do as well. Because I don't trust that they can win in cold weather, and I don't trust they can
That's
win.
exactly why I don't think they're
Right.
going to win the division.
But again, I can't hate it because I picked them last year. I just
did.
learned my lesson last year.
that
So-
and I don't trust that defense.
That's another question mark, right? If we're going over to the NFC, so Eric, we'll start with Eric in the NFC. Lions,
Yeah.
Eagles, Niners, Falcons,
Okay.
right? And yours is, or mine is, Lions, Eagles, Niners, Bucks.
Ooh, Bucks. You and your boy
And-
Baker, man.
Yep. And yours is Lions, Niners, Falcons, Cowboys.
Yep.
I can't trust the Cowboys.
Neither can I. But again, the only other team that
I know
division,
you hate the Eagles and you think they're going to
I think they're going
implode.
to implode.
So, right. So I mean, like
the only team that's left is
you're
the
not
Cowboys.
going to pick right.
Yeah. And you know how much I hate the Cowboys.
Oh, I know.
But
I know,
because I
but
think the Eagles are going
you
to implode.
absolutely think the Eagles are going to implode, which
do.
again, your picks back that up.
Yeah.
Now, if we're going to go to Super Bowl champ, we'll go to NFC champs, right? Your first pick for NFC champs are the 49ers.
Yes.
Your second pick for NFC champs is the Packers.
Yep.
Lions aren't even in there at all, huh?
Nope.
All right. Your AFC champs are the Chiefs and the Ravens.
Mm-hmm.
Your Super Bowl champs are the Chiefs and the Niners.
Yes.
I don't disagree with those other than I'm surprised you don't have the Lions up there. I'm not surprised in a way because you and I both kind of hate that fucking franchise, but
I think the Lions are going to miss the
I know
playoffs.
you're realistic with the Lions.
Yeah.
I think they have a very good team. You really think they're going to
do?
miss the playoffs?
No, I don't. I just
Oh,
the guys I work with, like they're huge Lions fans, so I give them shit. We were talking about it this morning.
Gotcha.
I'm like, I'm ready. Football's back. I'm like, the Lions going to miss the playoffs.
okay. I will say though, Lions fans have become very chesty.
Oh, dude, they become like Michigan State fan when they got good for like 5 minutes.
Like they're very chesty.
Oh
this
yeah,
year.
big time.
We'll go through some of these other picks.
Now, if-
Eric is he tries not to be chesty, but
he's
some
chesty.
some of his picks
Yeah.
that I've seen, I'm like, all right,
This is the thing.
you're
like,
very pro line.
If you do this year what you did last year, then fine. You can be chesty all you want. Cool. Do it more than one season. I'm fine with that.
But also know that even if you do what you did last year, you could be there's optimistic and then there's chesty and arrogant, right?
Right.
Optimistic is one thing, but like every year you do see teams that were great the year before fucking die out and have bad. I mean, it's the NFL, man.
Yep.
It's the NFL. The only teams that don't really do it are like teams that have done it for long stretches were like Pittsburgh, long stretches, Baltimore, long stretches, Kansas City now, long stretches, New England. Every other year you see teams that do really well and then fall down a little bit and then might do really well the year after. Like, it happens, man.
It does. You can get knocked off that pedestal real fucking quick.
I think the chestiness of Lions fans is a little bit much right now. Like they're literally there's Lions fans picking that, and not just a couple. There's Lions fans fucking picking them to go undefeated, to win 15 games out of 17 games. Like guys, come on, what are we doing?
I can tell you right now that's not going to happen.
No.
That is not going to happen. Because again, your schedule is significantly harder than it was last year.
Absolutely.
And you're not sneaking up on anybody this year. Like,
No.
everybody knows you guys are good. Everybody, I actually was listening to a show today. They were talking to some national NFL guy. And he said something that it was honestly a great point. And I thought about it. I'm like, yeah, that actually makes a lot of sense. Is these teams, they don't, quote, game plan for every team they play because you can't.
Right.
You
No.
can't do that.
No.
But there are certain teams that they will absolutely go all in and game plan against. The Lions are going to be that team, one of those teams this year.
Oh, absolutely.
That, like, they're going to come out with shit that you've never fucking seen.
Yeah.
You know, so you got to take that into account as well.
Yep. And so I agree. I don't necessarily agree that they're not going to make the playoffs, though.
No, I think they're going to make the playoffs. I do. Whether it be as a wild card or division
Right.
winner, they're going to make the playoffs. I was just giving my guys I work with shit
Yeah.
about it, you know. So of course they gave me shit about, you know, that's the Bills. I'm like, that's a possibility.
I mean, honestly, it could be.
That's a possibility.
It could be.
So,
If we're looking at my NFC and AFC champs, I have my first pick for the NFC would be Niners. Second would be Lions. AFC first would be Ravens. Second would be Chiefs. And I think I'm wrong on that one now after week 1, but we'll see. It's a long season. Super Bowl would be Niners and Ravens. Again, we'll see after the first game. Doesn't necessarily bode well for my AFC pick, but
right.
we'll see. Eric, his picks are
Lions.
Lions, Niners.
If he could have picked Lions twice for all this shit, he would have.
No, he could win it, yeah. He did Lions, Niners.
Yep.
He did Chiefs, Ravens. And then Super Bowl, he did Lions and Niners.
Yep.
His first pick to win the Super Bowl is Lions.
Of course.
That's chesty.
That's Eric.
I know, but that's also chesty. Like, that's...
I love it,
I mean, dude, he was one of the ones that was always like, this team's dog shit. I won't believe it until I see it. I mean, now that you've seen one season of it, you're picking him to win the Super Bowl? Come on, bro. Eric, come on, man.
Hey, man.
But all right. I mean, you do you. But
Gotta
anyway.
support the team.
Yeah. All right.
Oh, the Packers are wearing green.
Ooh.
That. All right.
Oh, full on green.
All right.
So I don't know if you want to go down through these. If you want, I'll name them off. Do you have this pulled up?
I do have it pulled up. Yes.
So I can read mine and Eric's, and you can read yours.
Done. Do it.
All right. So Super Bowl sleeper team.
Yes. You want to go from top to bottom?
Who's yours? Just your Super Bowl sleeper teams.
I had my first pick was the Bills, and my second pick was the Rams.
All right. Super Bowl sleeper teams for me. Do you want to go in depth on that at all, or just because you can go in depth on anything?
No, what I like about this is why obviously it's a sleeper pick, but
right.
There's no expectations with the Bills this year.
Right. Actually, the expectation is they're probably not going to be as
exactly, and I fucking love that.
It kind of works in reverse, right?
It does. I dig that. Like, there's no pressure on this team to do anything special because nobody thinks they're going to do anything special.
Right.
And quite frankly, they probably won't. But these past, 4 or 5 years, that's been the expectation that it's Super Bowl or bust. You know?
Yep.
And this year, completely different. Everybody thinks they're probably going to miss the playoffs or barely make it in. Yep. So, and that's why I dig it. And the Rams, you know, we thought last year was going to be a disaster year for them.
Some people did.
Well, yeah, you're right. But it wasn't.
Right.
You got to the playoffs with that step back year.
Yep.
You know?
Yep.
And I was like, that can only be a good thing.
And you were competitive.
And you were competitive. And you have a quarterback still who has a Super Bowl ring now.
Yep.
So why not? Why can't they get back to the Super Bowl?
No, they absolutely can.
Especially in a shitty NFC. And I'm sorry for the people that say the NFC is better this year. Is it?
I mean, not really.
Is it? Like, how much better?
I mean, it's slightly better than last year.
Is it better that it makes a huge difference?
No.
Exactly. That's my point. Like,
No.
people are saying, oh, the NFC is so much better than it was last. No, it isn't.
No.
Is it better?
It's better.
Yes.
It's not.
But is it
extremely better?
Yeah, but
It's
is
not-
it like AFC better?
No.
No. So that's why I say, like, why not? Why can't the Rams go back?
No, they absolutely can.
You know, fuck it.
They absolutely can, and I agree with both those points. My Super Bowl sleeper teams are the Texans and the Packers.
Yep.
I think the Packers are severely underrated right now, especially in this city.
Yes.
I believe the Packers absolutely have a shot at winning that division. I believe they absolutely have a shot at winning the conference, and I believe they absolutely have a shot at going to Super Bowl. That absolutely is within the cards. As you picked them as your second pick for NFC champs. The other Super Bowl sleeper team, Texans, I think it goes without saying. I think they can possibly sneak up on some people. I think they have a good enough team. They might take a few steps back in the regular season. I think they'll make the playoffs, even if it's not winning their division. And I think they can make a run in the playoffs. They're not the Titans. If they make the playoffs and win that division,
Yeah.
are not necessarily built to make a run in the playoffs. Right? It's one of those things where it's not necessarily one plus the other one.
Yeah.
Right? Texans can make a run. They made it to the playoffs last year. The Titans, even if they win the division, they're not necessarily going to be able to make that run. I think the Texans can for sure.
Now, my only issue with the Texans, and obviously I believe I picked them to win the division, but it's kind of the Lions thing too. Like you're not sneaking up on anybody.
That was my point by saying the Titans.
Yeah.
I think the Titans could win that division.
You're not sneaking up on anybody.
Right.
And not
Whereas
to mention,
the Titans can sneak up on people this year.
not to mention sophomore slumps are a thing.
It's reality.
You know, it's a thing. Like for how good Stroud played last year, how much better can he get? You know,
I don't know, man, because he was fucking lights out.
yeah, I
last
know
year.
that's my point. And then not to mention now you have weapons and shit like that. But at what point does Stephon Diggs get pissed and fuck everything up?
So we'll get
Because he's throwing the ball to Nico Collins and Tank Dell all the time.
right, and I will personally talk about that a little bit later on in this because I have some choice thoughts on that one as well. I do agree with that.
So that's kind of my only things like against the Texans pick. I like it because I mean if they ball out like they did last year, yeah, absolutely.
Right.
So, yeah.
And then let's see, Eric's Super Bowl sleeper team, Packers and Houston. I can't really go in depth on this one, but obviously the Packers and the Texans. That's kind of we're all on the same lines on both those teams, right?
Yep.
Let's go to playoff sleeper team. He's got Atlanta and Denver.
Denver?
That was his second one.
right.
He might have been a throw-in for him. I'm not really sure.
All right.
But he had Atlanta first.
Yep.
Mine are the Titans
Yes.
and Atlanta, the Falcons. I think we all think the Falcons are going to be pretty good this year
You have
offensively.
Atlanta and the Falcons?
No, I have the Titans and the Falcons.
You said Atlanta and the Falcons.
I said the Titans and Atlanta Falcons.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It sounded like you said Atlanta and the Falcons. I'm like, wait, what?
No, the Titans, and I said Atlanta, but I changed it to Falcons because that's what I actually had here.
Got it.
But yeah, Titans and Falcons. I think we all agree Atlanta is going to be pretty good on offense. We think they're going to take a step up this year. It's a matter of whether that defense does or not.
Yep.
I think we all kind of had them as a team that could surprise, right? And then for me, the Titans, I've already talked about it. I think they could be one of those really surprising teams. Them and Arizona, to me, are two teams that, and I'll get to it a little bit later on in the wins, I think they're going to surprise the NFL this year. I think both teams on offense are going to be way better than what people think. And for me, the Titans have a shot at that division for sure, and they have a shot at making the playoffs, even as a wild card if they don't win that division.
Right. Mine was first pick was the Chargers. Second pick was the Bears. I think the Chargers are going to have a completely different mentality than they have the past few years because they don't have a fucking buffoon running their football team.
Yep.
And the Bears, as much as I'm not on board with Caleb Williams,
That one surprised me. I saw that one. I was like, what?
as much as I'm not on, you can win despite your quarterback.
That's true.
And that's what I think is going to be with the Bears. Like I think their team is going to be good enough, both on especially on defense, that they'll be competitive enough to maybe snag like a wild card spot,
Right.
in spite of their shitty quarterback,
Right.
who everybody seems to. You want to talk about glazing? Holy shit! Like, good Lord, man.
Jesus. Let's go to next one down, MVP.
Yes. I took Josh Allen and Jared Goff.
Okay.
Josh Allen, because if you really want to look at it, he was in the conversation last year for MVP, especially
sure.
what he did down the stretch.
Absolutely.
So I don't see why he can't actually get there this year,
Right.
you know. And Jared Goff, because, again, the Lions are going to be good. They're going to make some noise. And if Jared Goff doesn't have those 1, 2, maybe 3 games where he's just like, has this guy ever played quarterback before?
Right.
And he's going to put up numbers.
Well, he's going to put up numbers. I think the key to Jared Goff winning it would be the Lions have to have the best record in the NFL.
And it would honestly, it would have been easy for me to put like Mahomes there, but it's like that's the
Yeah, I mean
that's
that's an easy one though. I don't think any of us really took the easy way out. I'd have to look at Eric's again because I did the same thing. I kind of went with a little bit off.
I wanted to. I didn't want to go with like the obvious.
Yeah.
You know.
So I think Jared Goff to do it though, if we're looking at it realistically, what the Lions would have to have probably the best, if not the second best record in the NFL.
Yep.
And-
But Lions fans, that's what's going to happen, right?
Of course.
Yeah.
And then also, he would have to throw. It would have to be single-digit picks.
Yeah. And that's why I
Right.
take those like 2-3 games where he doesn't look like he knows what the fuck he's doing.
Right.
Yeah.
So I don't disagree with either one of those. My two are Brock Purdy and C.J. Stroud. C.J. Stroud is self-explanatory. The year he had last year, he very well could have won.
Arguably, last year could have been
Right.
or should have been the MVP.
Right. And then Brock Purdy, my argument for that one is, and I know some people think he's a situational quarterback or he's a system quarterback. I look at it as even system quarterback. Listen, man.
Everybody's a system quarterback.
I know.
Everybody.
I hate that. I hate that phrase. But if you look at it, both his receivers are coming in happy. He's got Kittle. He's got a receiving running back. They're built for him to succeed.
Yes.
If they have the best record in the NFL, if he succeeds and he outshines CMC by a slight little bit, the quarterback always wins out. The quarterback will win out in that one.
That's the only thing I'll say to that is that's where I think CMC is going to take away votes from him.
Well, he might. He might, but I wanted to go with a little bit outside.
No,
pick
and
right
I
here.
love it. I think that's.
I think Purdy has the opportunity to be able to do it. They have a good enough team, and again, if he puts those numbers together, if he throws, single-digit picks,
Yep.
2 happy wide receivers, George Kittle. I mean, you've got it all there for you to succeed. And then Eric's picks for the MVP are C.J. Stroud. I think that one's self-explanatory, right? And again, another one self-explanatory, CMC. Basically just talked about it. CMC can easily outshine the quarterback on his team because he's just that fucking good. As long as he stays healthy, he can do that. Let's do the breakout players kind of. We'll do them by twos, right? Mm-hmm. Breakout quarterback and breakout running back. Eric has Minshew and Love.
Minshew, eh?
He has Minshew. His Minshew was his first pick.
Love it.
Minshew and Love as his breakout
Franco
quarterbacks.
love that too.
And then he has Javonte Williams from Denver as the breakout running back, along with James Cook from Buffalo.
Okay. All right.
My 2 picks for breakout quarterback. This one's not going to surprise you based on my Titans love. Will Levis.
Yeah.
And then also Anthony Richardson based on if he stays healthy all year as opposed to what we saw in a few short games last year.
Yeah.
Breakout running back. I think Bijan is going to just fucking blow the league away this year.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to go with Kamini Vidal from the Chargers because I think he's got all the tools and he's got 2 injury-prone running backs ahead of him. Mm-hmm. And he's got a head coach now in Harbaugh who just will want to run the ball down people's throats. So I think he can break out as a rookie. I think he's one of those guys that you're definitely going to hear his name down the stretch, I believe.
Yeah, I think he will. I especially like the point about Harbaugh because it's exactly what he's going to fucking do. He's going to run the ball. So my breakout QB, I know he's a rookie, but I think he's from the rip, kind of like what Stroud did last year.
Right.
I think straight from the jump, Jaden Daniels. I think he's going to be good. I do.
I'm on board with you there. In other ways,
yeah.
I didn't pick him as my breakout quarterback, but I do believe he's gonna shine, man. I think he's gonna look really good.
And breakout QB, Justin Herbert.
Yeah,
I think he's actually going to live up to like the hype that everybody thinks he's
because he's gonna have less pressure on him.
Exactly. He's not going to have to like win the game on his own. He's gonna.
Yep.
I think he's gonna be the quarterback that everybody thinks he is. And as for my breakout running backs, I got Zahir White and Chase Brown.
Chase Brown.
Yes.
I think Chase Brown is a very popular one.
Yeah.
For sure. Zamir White. It's about half and half camps on him.
Mm.
I'm torn on him too. I don't know. I actually drafted him in one of my fantasy leagues, and I was happy about it at the time. Kind of looking back on it now, I'm like, I don't know. But
now, full disclosure, some
it
of
could
these that I picked, I was very tired. I just said, "Fuck it,
Yeah,
let's put something in there."
Well, that's fine. It is what it is. So let's go to breakout wide receiver and tight end. If you want to give yours.
Yes, for breakout wide receivers, I took Jackson Smith and Jigba and Garrett Wilson. Because Garrett Wilson is actually going to have a legitimate quarterback throwing him the ball.
As long as Aaron
As long
Rodgers
as he
stays
stays
healthy.
yes.
So it's funny. I think he might have the year I thought he was going to have last year.
Yes.
This
so
year.
I think he might actually have that year.
And honestly, Jackson Smith and Jigba, there's a lot of people really high on him this year. Yeah. I think a lot of people believe that Tyler Lockett kind of starting off the year with an injury already.
I think he's going to kind of take over that spot.
People have him taking over that number 2 spot.
Yep.
And in all honesty, I personally love, this is on the other side of that one, I love DK Metcalf this year.
Yeah, you said that.
And I listen, I've never gone into a football season saying DK Metcalf was going to have a great season. I haven't.
I don't know if anybody's ever said that.
Lots of people have, but he's always disappointed.
Yes.
I'm saying that this year. I believe he's going to have a very good season, but I also believe that's going to help the guy on the other side of the ball.
Yes.
On the other side of the field. It's going to help out whoever's over there, and if it's Jackson Smith and Jigba, it's definitely going to help him out. He's a good enough receiver on his own. If he's got DK taking the top off the defense, he's gonna be able to win out on some matchups over on the other side. I agree with that one for sure.
As for my breakout tight ends, I took Dalton Kincaid, like we talked about earlier. I think he's going to be a focal point of the offense this year.
100%.
And I took Kyle Pitts because he doesn't have a buffoon running the offense, and he's actually going to be fucking used.
I 100% agree with. I agree with both of those. So in saying this, I got like talking fantasy football when we talk football. There's three tight ends I feel are going to break out as very good receivers this year in fantasy football. I'm about to tell you about two of them. Kincaid is one of them, and Pitts is a little bit more of a question for me. But my tight ends are going to be Trey McBride from Arizona. Another team I think is going to really surprise is Arizona on offense. I really do believe in them on offense, not necessarily on defense. And Dalton Kincaid is my other tight end. 100% think he's going to be the leading receiver on that team. Yeah. He will lead that team in receptions. No doubt about it in my mind. And just for receiver, it's Malik Neighbors.
Okay.
I don't necessarily trust in the quarterback, but I don't think they have a whole lot else on that team. And I think he has all the tools to succeed. And then I went with Garrett Wilson as well.
Nice,
Obviously,
nice.
Aaron Rodgers being there, as long as he stays healthy, I think he's going to have the year people thought he was going to have last year.
Okay.
For Eric, breakout wide receiver, Jamison Williams, Detroit. No hometown thoughts there.
Zero. It's like that guy in Boof's league. He'd always draft Denver Bronco players.
He would always, yes.
Always.
And then he went with Malik Neighbors as his second one.
Okay.
His tight ends were Kyle Pitts and Brock Bowers.
I like the Brock Bowers pick.
I do. I don't necessarily think he's going to have a breakout season this year. I think he's going to show enough, kind of like Kincaid did last year and McBride did last year. He's going to show enough this year that maybe next year he breaks out, but I could be wrong. I think he's going to have a typical good tight end rookie season, and then you're going to really see it next year when he's going to be the Kincaid of next year. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Let's see. The ride or die.
Yeah.
And the avoid at all costs.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so Eric's ride or die, CMC.
I think weren't we at I think we're all pretty much in lockstep on that one, are we not?
CMC, I did not put CMC as my ride or die. Nope.
All right.
Gibbs is his other ride or die.
All right.
Hometown.
Yep.
His avoid at all costs.
Yeah.
Kadarius Toney.
Cadaverous.
Yeah. And Jacoby Brissett.
Okay.
My ride or die, Kyler Murray.
Wow.
I'm going with Matthew Berry on this one. My ride or die is Kyler Murray.
Okay.
And again, I talked to you and Frank about this. Like, I was all over. Like, the more research I did, it was a little bit later in the year than I usually do. I love Arizona's offense. I really do. I don't know why. And then when Matthew Berry came out with his love and hate and his ride or die,
he loves Kyler Murray.
Does. And I looked at it, I'm like, so I'm not fucking wrong. I could still be wrong. But Matthew Berry's pretty fucking good at this shit.
He is pretty good at what he does.
And his last 2 years of ride or dies have been fucking on point.
Right.
I'm all over Kyler Murray this year, along with Jonathan Taylor. I think everybody's soured on Jonathan Taylor from last year. I think that guy is going to prove again why he was in the talks to be the best running back in the league. That guy is absolutely going to shine with a mobile quarterback in the back there to take some pressure off him.
All right.
Avoid at all costs for me, Puka Nacua.
Wow.
I think Cooper Kupp takes that step back this year. I think he takes that step back forward. I mean, like he steps back into the number one role.
Right.
Puka was great last year. I'm not saying he's gonna be bad. I'm just saying he's not going to be the number one wide receiver. He's not going to put up the numbers he did last year. Cooper Kupp will eat away at that, and he will be the number one wide receiver on that team, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And he was being drafted so high in drafts, man. It was just nuts. He was going in the first round in some drafts.
Really?
First and second round, man. I was like, and Cooper Kupp's going in like the fourth and fifth round. I'm like, it doesn't make sense to me, guys.
Yeah, it doesn't.
And then
sense.
Avoid at all costs for me. And my last draft, I did not pay attention to this. I did, but I had to take a guy that I didn't want to take. All Houston wide receivers. I'm out on all of them. even though I had to draft one.
You think because they're going to spread it around too much?
There's only one football.
Right. Yeah.
Like, they have so many weapons on that offense.
Yeah.
They have Mixon.
Yeah.
They have Dameon Pierce.
Yeah.
They have Diggs. They have Dell. They have Nico Collins.
Yep.
Like, they have Schultz, right? Dalton Schultz, the tight end.
Yep.
There's way too many guys to spread the ball around to. There's only one football, guys, and there's only so much time in a single.
It's gonna be funny when Diggs just loses his shit.
There's only so much time in a football game.
Yeah.
To me, I was out on all those guys only because not that they're not good.
But because
I didn't want a piece of them because it's going to be a crapshoot every
because
week.
of circumstance.
Right.
As simple as that.
It's going to be a crapshoot every week, in my opinion.
All right. My ride or die was CMC and Josh Allen. I think for obvious reasons, they're such huge parts of that offense of their offenses. And my avoid at all costs was Anthony Richardson and Russ. I mean,
Russ is it's
come
Russ.
on. But
It's
Anthony,
Russ.
Anthony Richardson. I don't. There's something off that I can't place it. Like why I just don't think he's going to be very good. Because I know they're going to try to tame him down into being a pocket passer, and that's not what he is.
I think a healthy Jonathan Taylor, for me, when I look at
Right.
it, I think a healthy Jonathan Taylor helps him out tremendously.
Fair.
I think they help each other, right?
Yeah.
That's where I'm coming from on the Anthony Richardson, but I can completely understand somebody wanting to avoid him.
Yeah, he's not a pocket passer, and I think that's what they're trying to make him.
Yeah.
Kind of what they did with Fields,
Which is a bad idea.
which is a bad idea. He's a guy that needs to get out in space.
And
Touchdown Packers. Okay.
Touchdown
Maybe.
Packers.
Maybe, because there's a flag.
Jaden Reed. And there's a flag.
Of course there's a flag. But he's the guy that likes to get out in space and make plays.
Yeah.
And I don't necessarily think they want him to do that because of what happened last year.
Right.
So that's why I'm kind of like, maybe keep your distance a little bit on him. So
Nope. I'm with you on that one. I think I drafted him in one league this year.
I do.
He was not a guy I targeted a whole lot. In the one league I drafted him in, somebody took Kyler Murray before me. I took Kyler Murray in a lot of my drafts.
Apparently, you have a hard on for him this year.
Dude, I'm telling you, I think that offense is going to be way better than people think. And he was a guy that I loved, and I could get him late. I can get him later than guys like Anthony Richardson, C.J. Stroud, Jordan. You know what I mean? Like, I was able to get him a little bit
So
later.
no touchdown, offsetting penalties.
All right. Well, there's that.
Yes.
I'll tell you what, man. Why don't we do a read? Because I actually have to depart for a minute.
Oh, you gotta.
I have to go do something. So, my bad. It's been a day of drinking a lot of water. So,
Fair enough.
how about we talk about the best team that we can talk about right now
Oh, that's the Joe Wright
and
group,
the Joe
right?
Wright Group.
Yeah. Whether you're buying or selling your home, now is the time to take advantage of having the expertise of 3 real estate agents for the price of 1 on your side. Make the right move with the right group, the Joe Wright Group. Give Craig Joe Wright, Mike Bush, and Shane Wilson a call today at 248-535-4750 to fulfill all of your real estate needs. Now, normally there would be some sort of drop after I read that, but since Joe has to use the restroom, obviously that's not going to happen. So what we're going to do in the meantime, and waiting for him to get back, I'm looking at our next category here, which is rookie star and rookie bust. Now, for me, for my rookie stars, I took Jaden Daniels and Marvin Harrison Jr. Jaden Daniels, we've said it, at least I have said it, and I believe Joe agrees with me on this, that we think he's going to be the best rookie quarterback this season. So it's obvious, rookie star, yes, right? And Marvin Harrison Jr., it's been said by scouts that he's by far the most NFL-ready wide receiver to come out in a long time. So it was pretty easy for me to pick Marvin Harrison Jr. and especially playing in that offense, which Joe seems to like as well with Kyler and the weapons they have down there. I think it's a solid pick for rookie star. And as Joe returns, we'll get back into my pick for rookie star, as I pick Jaden Daniels and Marvin Harrison Jr.
Yes.
Which I think.
Sorry, man. I left you hanging. That was
No,
my bad.
it's all good, man. No worries.
They say it's healthy to drink a lot of water, and it is.
It is.
But then you run into that problem.
You got to act. Yeah, you're only renting it, man.
It's got to exit at some point.
Right. So yeah, like I said, my rookie star picks are Jaden Daniels and Marvin Harrison Jr. Jaden Daniels, because like I said, I think we both believe that he's going to be the best rookie quarterback in this class, and Marvin Harrison Jr. because you seem to like Arizona's offense for whatever reason. Even if they do have a midget running it. So it's gonna give him a weapon. It's gonna give him a big target, and obviously he's one of the best receivers to come out of college in a while. So yeah, why not? Fuck it.
No, I love both of those. Did you give your rookie busts?
I have not. My rookie bust, honestly, both Chicago Bears, Caleb and Rome, and I think it's simply because
For the same reason.
of the quarterback.
Right? Yep.
Yes.
Basically, they're corresponding.
Yep.
So rookie stars, I love Jaden Daniels. That's my number one, man. I think he's going to really shine this season. I really do. I think him and Terry McLaurin are gonna have a very good connection this year.
Terry, eh?
They got rid of Jahan Dotson for a reason. He just wasn't meshing well with anybody on the team. And that team, he needed a fresh start. I think they did too with the receivers. I think Terry McLaurin is going to have another bounce back year actually.
Okay.
And then my other one is Keon Coleman.
Oh, wow.
I think he's going to be. Listen, he's not going to lead the team in receptions. I think he's going to lead the team in red zone touchdowns. And listen, he's a big, tall receiver that can go up and get the football, man. And he's going to make some big catches for that team.
I hope so. They're going to need it.
The rookie bust. My rookie busts are
Did you
actually.
have to pee that bad? You're like out of breath.
Yeah, I ran. I ran. Went to the bathroom, ran back down. I'm like, I felt bad. I was leaving you hanging, bro.
It's
I'm
all
like,
good,
when
man.
it's only two of us on the show, like
It's
it
rough,
kind of
yeah.
hangs somebody out to dry.
Yeah, it's
you know?
all good.
So the other guy, so my rookie busts
Yeah.
are actually the same as yours.
Really?
Yep.
Nice.
And we did not actually. I saw your picks after mine were already
Yeah,
in.
I didn't even see
Right,
your picks
so
at
you
all.
didn't even see mine.
No.
And I saw your guys only because I put them on the website.
Right.
But Caleb Williams and Rome Odunze.
Nice.
And again, same reasons that you have. I don't trust in Caleb Williams.
Nope.
And in the fact that I don't trust in Caleb Williams, I don't trust in the wide receivers on the team, and especially the rookie wide receiver on that team.
Right.
So, like, for me, it's just, I think they're both kind of going to be busts.
Yes.
Eric's are Caleb Williams. No. Sorry, rookie bust. Sorry, he did.
Who's his rookie star?
Rookie star is Caleb Williams.
Really? Okay.
So you and I completely disagree with that.
yeah, well.
And then he's got Bo Nix.
Okay.
His rookie bust.
Yeah.
And Bo Nix is star for him. Obviously, I guess it's for the reason why he chose Denver as an outside chance at making a playoff,
That
right?
makes sense.
Bust would be Blake Corum for him, and bust would be Keon Coleman for him.
Okay.
So, a couple of ones that definitely don't agree with some of our picks, but
No.
you know
That's
hey,
what I
man,
love about it.
I know we all have
That's
different
great.
opinions. At the end of the year, you're either smart or you're dumb, depending on what decision we're talking about.
Yes.
Okay, offensive rookie of the year, he's got Caleb Williams, and then I think he made this pick after last night's game, Xavier Worthy.
Yeah,
So-
tough.
We're gonna just give it. We'll give that one to him. But I'm gonna say, if you're basing it on last night's game, you're wrong because I already talked about it earlier.
Yeah.
Listen, no, that's not gonna happen every game, guys.
No.
My offensive rookie of the year is Jaden Daniels or Marvin Harrison Jr. based on my love for the Arizona offense.
We have the same. It just flip-flopped them. I took Marvin Harrison Jr. and Jaden Daniels.
Yep.
So, yes, we have the same.
Let's do injury risk and deep sleepers.
My injury risks are Kyler Murray and Aaron Rodgers. I think for obvious reasons. I mean,
Yeah.
Obviously, 40-year-old quarterback coming back from an Achilles injury. Yeah. Okay. That's an injury risk. And Kyler obviously being out for as long as he was out. Yeah. That's an injury risk for me.
Absolutely.
As for deep sleepers, I'm kind of with Eric on this one, Bo Nix. And I don't know if it's such a deep sleeper, but it's a guy that we thought was going to be a breakout.
Right.
Is Dalton Kincaid.
Yeah.
So,
Let's see. My injury risk is CMC.
always.
And I'm a little pessimistic. I had first pick in one of my leagues, and I didn't like the first pick this year because listen, they ran him to death last year.
Yeah.
And listen, he was already an injury risk, so I don't know.
Oh, this turf is looking great that they're playing on. Holy shit.
Oh, jeez.
Jesus.
And down goes Barkley. My other injury risk is Anthony Richardson, based on what we talked about, right? They got to use him smarter. If he just goes in there and tries to put his head down and run the football like he did last year, the same thing's going to happen again.
I agree.
My deep sleepers are Kamini Vidal from the Chargers.
Who?
The running back from the Chargers, remember?
Oh, I know.
Oh, okay. And Xavier Leggett,
okay.
wide
from,
receiver from Carolina.
Yeah.
You know, the best receiver on that team right now is Adam Thielen, who is isn't
90?
he like 80?
Look at that.
And
Look
he
at that shit
uses
already.
a walker. That's awful.
Good Lord.
Eric's.
Yeah.
Let's see. Eric's injury risk is Aaron Rodgers and Lamar Jackson.
Yep.
Oh, picked off. He's going to return this all the way, isn't he? Oh, no, he got caught.
That was a very ill-advised throw.
Yes. And isn't that tackle illegal now?
Oh, hip drop? Yeah.
Isn't that exactly what just happened?
That's kind of what it looked like to me. But honestly, if you look at that, that's kind of like a punt, like what just happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So those are his injury risks. Aaron Rodgers, Lamar Jackson. His deep sleepers are Chase Brown, running back from Cincinnati, and Cole Kmet, tight end from Chicago.
All right.
Because he believes in Caleb Williams.
He does
right?
believe in
he
Caleb
is a believer
Williams,
in
yes.
Caleb Williams. So I understand that one.
Yeah. I mean, it's all right.
Comeback player of the year and first quarterback benched. Comeback player of the year for Eric is Derrick Henry. And
Not if they only give the ball to him 13 fucking times.
not if they use him like they did last
Yeah,
time.
right.
And his other comeback player of the year is Kirk Cousins, which I
I like that
definitely
one.
I do like that one.
I do like that
his
one.
first quarterback bench. You're gonna like his first choice, Russ,
Yeah, me too.
and his second choice is Geno
Okay.
Smith. DeGeno.
All right.
It's not delivery. It's DeGeno.
It's DeGeno. We should have made those shirts. Man.
I know.
Damn it.
My comeback players of the year are Nick Chubb
Okay.
and Aaron Rodgers.
Until he gets hurt again?
No. So the only problem I'm going to see with Nick Chubb is I don't necessarily know if he's going to have enough time playing this year because I believe they're going to slow play him back,
Good.
which is smart.
It is very
I
smart.
hope they do.
Yeah.
I'll do that. Even if he gets a half a season though, if he plays the way Nick Chubb can play, he definitely could win comeback player of the year.
Okay.
Behind that offensive line that they have. And then Aaron Rodgers for obvious reasons, because if he stays healthy, listen, he's still Aaron Rodgers, man. I don't care what
Yeah.
you think about him.
Yeah.
First quarterback benched, Russell Wilson,
Mm-hmm.
and Jacoby Brissett.
Okay.
I think they end up going to Drake May pretty soon. He had a great, he had a damn good preseason.
The only thing I'll disagree with that is I don't think they want to put him in because that offensive line is fucking terrible.
They are, but I think they're just going to they're not going to be good.
Yeah.
So
But do you really want to get your rookie quarterback killed?
no, but they also, I don't think they want to go an entire season with Jacoby Brissett just spinning their tires for no reason,
Okay.
right? So I think at some point they're going to try to get him in there to get reps.
Gotcha.
And get game reps,
Yeah,
right?
I can see that. My comeback players are Rodgers and Justin Fields.
I like that one. I really like that one because I believe he wins that job at a certain point.
Yeah.
And I believe
You can actually see what he can do.
I believe if anybody can utilize him and regain his career, right, reestablish his career, I think it's Tomlin. I think he can do a good job with that.
Okay.
I agree with you.
And my first QB's benched. Straight across the board, I think we all went with Russ and Daniel Jones.
The only reason I wouldn't went with him,
Yeah.
because he was on my list, there's nobody behind him really pushing.
I don't think it matters.
And maybe it won't, but that's really my thought process.
Yeah.
The only reason why I didn't put him in there was there's just nobody to push him. Like they didn't draft their next guy, right?
Yeah.
Whereas with New England, they did draft their next guy. They got their guy. They got the guy they want. Jacoby is the guy to protect him for the first half of the season. You know what I mean?
Dude, this turf they're playing on is a fucking abomination. Like, there's guys, it's like an ice rink out there. Holy shit, this is, like, really bad. Like, nobody can plant. This is terrible. All right, sorry.
Bad football. And not because of them at all.
If you took the over in this game, yeah, you're probably not gonna.
kinda fucked.
You're kind of fucked.
So the next picks would be
TD
TD Vulture and PPR running back machine
yes,
or running back PPR machine.
yes.
Who is your TD Vulture?
My TD Vultures are Ray Davis and Taysom Hill.
I love the Ray Davis one.
Yeah.
I'm really high on him this year, man.
Yeah.
I'm not high on James Cook.
No, I know that. Hey,
I
if Ray Davis Vultures a shitload of touchdowns,
I think Ray Davis will
That's
actually.
good.
I think Ray Davis eventually takes over that backfield.
Fine.
I'll be honest with you, I really do.
I'm fine with that.
Taysom Hill, that's a good one actually because he's been a TD Vulture.
I know. That's why I took him.
He's absolutely been a TD Vulture.
Yes.
Who are your PPR machines?
My PPR machines are Bijan and Jahmyr Gibbs.
Love that one. My TD Vultures are David Montgomery
Okay.
and Ray Davis.
There you go.
My PPR machines are Bijan
Nice.
and Brees Hall.
Oh, that's one I considered too. Was Brees Hall? It was. I was
Yeah.
like, yeah, I like that.
I think you're going to see Aaron Rodgers is going to really utilize
Yeah.
him. But he utilized.
He was like my 1A in this. I should honestly I should have taken fucking both of them. But whatever.
He is. He's going to be utilized by Aaron Rodgers very well. He was listen. He caught a lot of passes last year.
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers was notorious for dumping the ball off to his running backs when he didn't see it downfield. I think he's going to be utilized. He's going to be great this year.
I think
he
the-
might even end up as running back one.
I think
honestly.
the only reason why I took Jahmyr Gibbs is simply because I think the Lions' offense is a bit more prolific than what the Jets is going to be. Mm-hmm. I think the Jets is going to be more straightforward type offense.
Yeah.
And the Lions, obviously, we saw what kind of offense the Lions had last year, and I think it's going to be similar to that this year. So that's the biggest reason why I took Gibbs there instead of Brees Hall.
Let's see. For Eric, TD Vulture, Amon-Ra St. Brown,
Okay.
and Derrick Henry. Running back PPR machine, Jahmyr Gibbs, and Bijan Robinson.
Fair. Dig it.
We're all kind of
We're
very
kinda-
similar
we're
there.
kinda in the same ballpark
Other than
now.
the St. Brown one, again, I think
Yeah.
that's a homer pick. But you know,
of
Eric,
course
I'm
it
not,
is.
I'm not going to bust your balls too much. That's a lie. I am going to bust your balls. So next up is best backup running back. Eric went with Devon Achane,
Okay.
and David Montgomery.
Yep.
My two were Trey Benson and Kamini Vidal.
Okay.
I think those guys are very good. Now, obviously, David Montgomery. Listen, I can. So for me, I'm going to tell you how I looked at this one. Right, I looked at David Montgomery as like, and Gibbs as like 1 and 1A.
Yes.
So for me, I didn't really look at him as a backup. And the same thing with Achane. Like I didn't necessarily look at him as backup right at this point. Right, last year he was.
This year's probably going to be the guy.
To me, he's probably going to be the guy. Yeah. He's 1A, and I think Mostert is 1B this year. So I'll get if I was taking those two into consideration, definitely would have been on my list.
Right.
For my list, I knocked them out of it. I'm not saying you guys should have done that. I'm just explaining my list.
No, I get it.
I knocked those guys out of it, and I went with the next couple that I thought were the next up and comers.
Right.
Who are yours?
Mine was Montgomery and Ty Chandler.
I like Ty Chandler.
Yep.
I do like that one.
Yep. Montgomery just, again, kind of for the same reasons we just talked about. It was, and to be quite frank on this one, it was more just, I'm tired. I need to put a fucking name in. So that's what I did.
No, but with you guys picking them, I completely get why you did it because yes, they technically are. I was explaining why I wouldn't have had them on my list. I went a different route in the thought process. That's all. Some of these, it's about how your thought process was.
Oh yeah.
So let's do QB and running back busts.
Yes.
This year.
Oh yeah.
Who are your QB busts and your running back busts?
Deshaun and Bryce Young.
I can't hate on that at all.
Obviously, for obvious reasons, I just don't think Bryce Young's good. I just don't. I know he's got a few more weapons this year, but I just don't think he's a very good quarterback. And Deshaun for obvious reasons.
Yeah.
Like reasons we've gone over numerous fucking times.
Because he seems washed?
He does seem washed. But like we talked about, I don't know if it was last episode we did or the week one before that. If he actually plays even remotely close to what he did in Houston,
Yeah.
the Browns are going to the Super Bowl.
Oh, yeah.
Like flat out, they're going to the Super Bowl.
Nope, I agree. I agree. It all rests on him.
It does. So
I don't think he has it, which is why I didn't pick them even as a sleeper team.
right.
I just don't think he has it. I hope he does. I hope I'm fucking wrong.
For you, yeah. And as for my running back bust, I took Saquon and Derrick Henry.
let's see. Quarterback bust for me, I went with Caleb Williams.
Yep.
And Drake May.
Yep.
Not that I don't believe in Drake May. I don't necessarily believe in him, but I'm with you. That offensive line is bad. That team is bad. I think even if he gets in there, he's not going to look very good. I'm not saying he's going to be a bust. I'm just saying like this season, for sure will be a bust for him. It will not pan out.
Absolutely.
Running back bust, I'll go with Austin Eckler, who that dude has had the biggest fall from grace I've ever seen in my life.
Yes.
And then Aaron Jones.
Okay.
And that backs up your Ty Chandler backup running back one.
That's exactly why the Packers just said bye.
I agree with that.
Okay,
I
bye.
like. He was one where I don't necessarily think he has much left.
No,
I think he's been utilized to the point where he can be utilized, and he's just about
toast.
Just about there.
Yep.
Eric's quarterback bust Zach Wilson, and he put
Really?
he put Kyler Murray.
Okay.
Yeah, I think Zach Wilson already busted.
Hey, come on,
but,
man.
And he went with running back bust Aaron Jones.
Yeah, all right.
And Travis Etienne.
Oh, wow. All right. I don't know if I agree with the ATN one, but
yeah, it depends on how you're talking about it.
Yeah.
Do I think he needed to be? If we're talking fantasy football, should he have been drafted in the first and second round this year?
No.
I mean, I don't think so.
No.
That's where he was going.
Yeah.
But yeah, did I want to draft him this year in my fantasy drafts? No. Do I think he's really going to be a bust?
No.
I don't think so. I think he'll be decent.
He's going to be a solid guy, but I don't think you're right. I don't think he's going to be a bust.
And then, all right, moving on to wide receiver bust.
Yeah.
And tight end bust. So, wide receiver bust, he has Deontay Johnson, who is also a Carolina wide receiver.
Yeah.
And Brandon Ayuk.
Okay.
His tight end is Pat Fryermuth and Travis Kelce.
Okay.
Those are his tight end busts. Mine, I have Keenan Allen and all the Houston wide receivers. Those are my two.
All right.
And again, I already talked about the Houston
did,
one,
yes,
right?
yeah.
And the Keenan Allen one for me, I listen, he's a possession receiver.
It's Caleb.
And it's Caleb.
Yeah.
And I don't necessarily trust that team with Caleb there. Tight end bust for me is Travis Kelce. We talked about it earlier. I think he's slowing down. He's probably still going to get a bunch of targets. I just don't think he's going to have the year that people still think he's going to have. He's not that guy anymore.
I think there's going to be more like not projected targets,
Right.
It's more like scrambling, and he gets somehow open, and here
Which
you go.
there was a couple of them last night that
But
were like
That's
that.
basically how he got all those catches.
And I think it's also going to be he's going to have a lot of shorter targets. I don't think he's going to have a lot of deeper targets like he has before, other than the scrambles where he gets free. And then my other one is Dalton Schultz. Again, the wide receiver thing, man, with Houston. Houston will be a good team on offense. There's only one football, and there's only so much time in a football game. Man, I wouldn't want to roll my dice every game on those guys.
Let's see. My wide receiver busts are Devontae Adams and Cooper Kupp.
Ooh.
And my tight end busts are Travis Kelce and TJ Hawkinson.
Yeah. Hawk with the injury, he's not going to play for the first 4 games, and who knows after that.
That's a tough injury to come back from.
Yep. And Travis, obviously, I think we're in lockstep on that one, right?
He's just
And I think Eric is too, because
he's
he picked
30
him.
fucking 4 years old.
Right. 35.
35.
Yeah.
He's and honestly, I think he's gotten to the point now that I don't really think his head is.
He's already thinking about his
Dude,
his
you got
next
3.
career.
You got 3 rings. You got
Yep.
a bunch of shit going on off the field.
Yep.
Like, what else is there for you to do?
He's already thinking about his
Absolutely.
his post
and
NFL
frankly,
career.
as he should be.
Absolutely.
Like you don't need to prove anything to anybody else. You're arguably the best tight end ever. I don't
Yep.
think he is, but you're in that conversation.
Arguably.
Yes. So
So your NFL future bet.
yes.
I would like to hear yours on this one.
My NFL future bet, and I've said this over numerous shows, that I think Nick Sirianni will be the first coach fired this year. And I believe Bill Belichick will take over for him, which that leads into my second future bet, that Bill Belichick will coach this season.
Let's see. So my NFL future bet.
Yeah.
Nick's. Oh, that's yours. Nick's. So I'll scroll down. I will take a double bet of the Titans over 4.5 wins and the Cards over 6.5 wins on DraftKings. I will pair those two together, and I will take that bet that both those teams will win more than that amount of games.
I agree with you on that.
I will absolutely take that bet all day. Already have,
If
actually.
I can find that bet on FanDuel, I'm definitely taking that.
I
'Cause I think that's absolutely going to happen.
I've already packaged those two together.
Nice.
And then also the Jets win their division.
Okay.
I absolutely think that happens.
All right.
NFL future bet for Eric is Bijan Robinson MVP. And
Oh,
Mahomes-
wow.
So he went. I think he went distant future that one.
I
I don't
wanna-
think.
I
I
wanna
don't think he
s-
went this season. And
I
then he
wanna see
also
what
went
kind of odds those are getting. That's good.
right. He also went Mahomes more rings than Brady, which is why I think he went distant future in both those. Not necessarily the season. He went Mahomes more rings than Brady. I don't think that will happen. Dude, Brady has 7 rings. Mahomes has 3. I mean, he's going to have to go on a hell of a tear.
He's not even 30 yet, though, dude.
I know, but but again, I don't know, man. That's a lot.
I actually don't hate that bet.
That's a
I
lot.
don't. I don't hate that
That's
bet.
a lot.
It is a lot. I don't disagree with you.
Yeah.
I
just-
don't
listen,
hate that bet.
Do I think he can come close?
I think he can.
I
at
think
least
he can
match
come
it.
close. I think he can come close.
I don't think he's gonna get 8.
No.
I think
I
he
don't
can
even think
match
he'd
it,
set,
though.
I think he could hit 6.
Okay.
I think he could probably get 3 more realistically.
Because you got to figure he's what 28 right now, 29. Mahomes.
I think he's 29. I
So
think
you got to figure he's gonna play at least another 10 years.
10 years. Yeah. I mean, he's got to win in order to beat Brady.
gotta
He's
win
got to win
5 more.
5 of the next 10 years. That's tough, bro.
It's tough. I like that's the weird thing though.
And again, he's kind of a running quarterback too. So like a running quarterback's, he's not necessarily a pocket passer like Brady was. He's not gonna be able to play until he's 45.
that's the
I
funny
mean, he
thing.
can, I guess, but it's
Like-
not gonna be. He's not gonna be as effective.
And that's the thing. If you take out that year that Brady was hurt
right.
after he blew out his knee, shit, he could have fucking 8.
I mean, he could have.
You know. But or the years, however he lost to fucking Eli twice. Still have no idea how that happened.
I have no
Nick
clue on how
Foles,
that.
Big Dick Nick. Like, come on. Yeah, I actually enjoyed this list. This was a lot of fun. I'm glad you put this together. Nicely done.
Thank you, sir.
good stuff.
Thank you.
Good stuff.
Now, you know what else was nicely done?
Nah, he's not nicely done.
Baldman Entertainment.
However, it is his birthday today.
it is his birthday today.
It is.
Happy birthday!
Yes.
And we all know planning an event such as a birthday party, wedding, graduation party, or any other event that might require a DJ can be very hairy. Eliminate the stress and give Steve Waddell at Baldman Entertainment a call today at 586-747-5402 or just text him happy birthday to 586-747-5402. He is the resident DJ for St. Hubert's Festival every year. If he's good enough for God, he's good enough for you. Speaking of St. Hubert's Festival, it is tonight. He was there from 6 to 8, so he's gone now, but you can catch him there tomorrow from 12 to 4 in the main tent, which I will be up there at a certain point in time. Come see me as well. We'll be up there, St. Hubert's Festival, tomorrow from 12 to 4. Again, this is Baldman Entertainment, 586-747-5402. The best decision you can make for a smooth event.
Nicely done.
Don't worry, nobody's listening anyway.
Yeah, it's football. Like, people are watching the fucking game right now. You're absolutely right about that.
Do you want to do the picks now?
Yes.
The weekly picks. All right,
Yes.
weekly picks it is.
This segment is brought to you by the Joe Wright Group.
It's time!
So I did not do very well last week. I went 2 and 5. You went
Yes.
5 and 2 though. Good for
I
you,
did,
buddy.
yeah. Listen, I'll start off the year good, and I'll
God,
just
I'm
collapse
bringing up the
halfway
rear
through.
already. This is not good. But I did win last year, so I'm happy.
You
about
did.
That. Yeah.
So I'm looking to win this
Nowhere
year.
for me to go but down.
That's, that's what she said.
Exactly. Yeah. So I'll take it. All right.
That's also what she said.
Yeah. You know that's right. Is that it? Oh yeah, that's it.
That's it.
It's because I'm so intense.
Oh shit.
All right.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard.
I love that. All right, so last week, Joe, you went 5 and 2. I went 2 and 5. Frank, you went 3 and 4, and Eric went 4 and 3. So first week's always tough, kind of. But
Yeah, I
you
never
did well. I'm
I
happy
never
about that.
expect to beat you in the college picks though. That one surprised
Yeah,
me.
it was weird. Like I don't know. I didn't have it right, but hopefully we get back. Hopefully we get back on track this week. First up, we have Arkansas taking on Oklahoma State. Oklahoma State's laying 7.5. Joe, you took Arkansas. Me and Frank took Oklahoma State, and Eric took Arkansas.
I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
Next up, we got the Battle of Iowa with Iowa State taking on Iowa. Iowa's laying 2.5. Joe, you took Iowa State. The rest of us took Iowa.
Hey, Old Man River, zip it or I'll break your hip.
Like I said earlier in the show, the slate of games this week is not great, so we kind of had to pick and choose what we did.
Yeah, there
here.
was some rough ones here.
There was some rough ones. So next up, we got Kansas laying 5, taking on Illinois. All of us took Kansas.
Everyone in this room is now dumber.
Next up, we got Tennessee laying 8, taking on NC State. All of us took Tennessee.
Okay, a simple wrong would have done just fine, but...
I hope not. Next up, we got Michigan State traveling to Maryland to take on the Terps. The Terps are laying 8. All of us took Maryland.
Pay that man his money.
Straight cash, homie. Let's go. And the final college game of the week, the biggest game of the week, Texas traveling to Ann Arbor, taking on Michigan. Texas is laying 7.5. Joe, you took Michigan. I took Michigan. Frank took Texas. And Eric took Michigan.
Well, the world needs ditch diggers, too.
Yeah, if you put money on Michigan, you might need you might become a ditch digger. Shit, dude.
Might need to take on a second job as a ditch digger to make some money.
Yeah, you might need to. Switching over to the NFL. Obviously, the Baltimore-Kansas City game already happened. Kansas City was laying 3. We all took Baltimore.
Yeah, we all fucked that one up.
We all fucked that one up.
Hey, bro, you mind putting on some pants? I find it a little weird I have to ask twice.
Yes. after those picks, yeah.
Baltimore got pantsed.
Baltimore got pantsed. In the game going on currently, as we're literally recording this, Green Bay taking on Philly. Philly's laying 3. Joe, you took Philly. I took Green Bay. Frank took Green Bay. And Eric took Green Bay.
I work with retards.
Well, you might be a retard for taking Philly in this one. That's all I'm saying.
Hey, man, it's 0-0 still, isn't it?
No, it's 6-0.
Is it?
Yes.
Oh, well, whatever.
Packers.
Whatever.
Next up,
It's a long game, man.
We got Pittsburgh taking on Atlanta. Atlanta's laying 3. You and I took Atlanta. Frank took Pittsburgh, and Eric took Atlanta.
Thanks a lot, Bin Laden.
Love that. That's good. Next up, we got Houston laying 2.5, taking on Indianapolis. You took Indianapolis, and the rest of us took Houston.
Remember, what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. Except for herpes. That shit'll come back with you.
That leads us into the next game.
It kind of does. Which it really does, because it's the Las Vegas Raiders taking on the Los Angeles Chargers. The Los Angeles Chargers are laying 3. Joe, you took Vegas. I took the Chargers. Frank, of course, took the Raiders. And Eric took the Chargers.
Fuck you, blow me.
Next up, we have the Cowboys taking on your Browns. The Browns are laying 2.5. You and I took Cleveland. Frank took Dallas because that's just a douchebag thing to do. And Eric took Cleveland. Love you, Frank.
It's the Catalina fucking wine mixer.
That guy would be a fucking Cowboys fan in that movie, 100%. 100%. Like, I don't like the Browns, but I fucking hate the Cowboys so much more.
Yeah.
Next up, we have Tennessee taking on the Bears. The Bears are laying 3.5. I think this might be one of the only times we ever have a Chicago Bears game in our picks. But, yeah, they're laying 3.5. You and I took Tennessee, and Eric and Frank took the Bears.
Like Kobayashi.
I think you gotta get a bunch of dicks to fucking take the Bears in this one. That's all I'm saying. Next up, we got the Cardinals taking on the Bills. The Bills are laying 6. Joe, you and I took the Cardinals. Frank and Eric took the Bills.
The price is wrong, bitch.
I think you're right about that one. Next up, we have the Jets taking on the Niners. San Francisco's laying 4.5. We all took the Niners.
Pardon my French, but you're an asshole.
Word.
That was just for you.
Can confirm.
That wasn't about the picks. That was just aimed for you.
Can confirm. And obviously, the last game on our slate, obviously the biggest game of the week, the Los Angeles Rams coming into Ford Field, taking on the Detroit Lions. The Lions are laying 3.5. Joe, you took the Rams. The rest of us, probably like fucking idiots, took the Lions.
Oh no! We suck again!
I love that.
Well, this is awkward.
And those are this week's picks.
All right. Well, first week of picks is down. Again, you said I went 5-2. I'm just going to reiterate that. Chris, 2-5. Frank, 3-4.
Thank you
Eric,
for reiterating that I went 2-5.
You're welcome.
Appreciate it, buddy.
Yep. We our scores mirrored each other, and then Frank's and Eric's did too. But listen, it's a long season, and we have a lot more games this week. So
Yes, we do.
I would guarantee I will not be leading after this week. That's just the way it works.
Well,
So
we'll see, man.
yeah.
Sun shines on a dog's ass every once in a while.
It does. Hopefully, I'm the dog's ass this week again. But yeah, I'm happy football's back, man.
Yeah.
This is great. I love starting off our 5th season.
Good shit, man.
Again, we started off every year at football time.
Yes, we do.
It's awesome. I'm glad we can make
That's
it.
how
in tonight.
that's how we remember anniversaries or starts of seasons.
Yeah.
Shit like that.
It's the start of football season
like,
every year.
Mine and lady friend, our anniversary is Michigan Ohio State every year.
Every year.
That's it. That's our anniversary. So it's like, all right, cool.
Awesome.
I'm
Until
not gonna
they
forget that.
change the schedule around, and then you're fucked.
Doesn't matter. Whenever Michigan Ohio State play, that's it.
No matter what time of the year it's
Doesn't
going to be.
matter.
Even if
That's
they
it.
move the game up in the year,
Even
you're like,
move it
listen,
up in
that's
the
our
air.
anniversary. I don't
Because
fucking care.
they obviously play it on different dates.
Right.
So it's like, well, yeah, it's Michigan Ohio State. Done.
All right,
Just
I like
easy,
that.
Easy to remember.
I like that thought process. That is actually pretty smart. of you
Why
guys.
complicate shit?
Yeah. Why?
And actually, it was her idea.
Why try to remember an exact date, guys? Just go with something that happens every year, and
I mean,
whenever it happens, that's the day.
If Facebook doesn't tell me, I don't fucking know.
Same, bro. Same. It's really bad, but same.
Like I wouldn't have known it was Steve's birthday today unless Facebook told me.
I did know at one point, but because of Ray's surgery today, my
Yeah.
mind's been off,
Oh,
and I
yeah.
forgot until you said it again, and I was like, oh yeah, it is.
Oh yeah. Yeah. So
All right. Anything else to get into, or we've gone long enough and we've bored everybody long enough?
wrap it up.
All right. That's a great idea, by the way. Everybody should wrap it up.
Well, yeah.
On that note,
Clearly you did.
give us a like, a share, and a follow on our social media like Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Twitch, and YouTube. You can find all of our podcasts on your favorite podcast provider. As always, check out SOTDET.com. Click on shop. Also, click on the picks. Click on the blogs. Frank wrote a couple blogs. If you haven't read them yet, go there and read them. Click on the fantasy outlooks, the fantasy projections and rankings. I have those on there for this week. I will be updating those every week. I've reeled in the amount of fantasy stuff I do every year now.
Good.
Just so I can actually get you some content. It's a little difficult throughout the season sometimes.
Yeah.
I reeled it in. I'm going to give you the rankings every week. Those are up there right now for this week. And again, click on shop, buy some stuff. We would appreciate it. It would support us, and we love you for it. Thank you for listening. On behalf of Chris and Frank, get better. On behalf of Lady Friend Upstairs, we are Sports on Tap Detroit. See you next Tuesday.
And that is it for us today.
No! God, please, no!
Bye. Have a great time.
No! God!
Bye, guys.
No, 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 no!
Bye, buddy.
No!
Goodbye.
No!
Goodbye.
No!
It's never goodbye.
You know, we've been through our ups and been through our downs.
And you were meant to be here tonight.
You guys will always be in my heart.
Great moments are born from great opportunity.
I think the most important part is that we all stay together throughout.
Don't give up. Don't ever give up.
Live. Fight like hell. The best thing I have ever done, the best thing I will ever do, is be a dad.
God, I love you guys. Mamba out.